So do you feel like there's enough space in your hips? Do you want to be a little bit further away? No, you feel okay?
Good, yeah.
Okay, so these are going to go under your sit bones.
Perfect.
Okay. And then just really settle into that. Okay, good. So bring your feet together and just think of floating your knees away from each other and then drawing them back together. Good. So what I want you to think of is when you draw your knees away, think really wide, heavy sit bones, really melting into that ball. Okay. Good. And then as you draw together, it's from that core connection. Okay. Good. And melt those. Can you feel those balls melting into that?
Yeah.
How does your bum feel?
Well, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. Good. And then when we take those balls out, you'll feel like your femurs can plug better. Like almost you can have that wider sit bone.
Okay.
Won't feel as challenging. Is it feeling tight in your hip?
No, I'm just sort of feeling, because I know that plugging your hips, like that feeling, I don't think I know what that is. Like when I try to look for it, I don't know exactly how, like it's, when you guys set me up, I'm like, oh, okay. But to achieve it on my own, I don't know that I fully understand what that feeling is, what that sensation is.
Right. So like, do you know what I mean when I say wide sit bones?
No, like I know when you guys say I'm doing it, but I'm like, I don't know.
You're being honest.
Because I'll be doing exercises sometimes. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, am I spreading my bum?
Yes.
Part? Okay.
Like spread your bum wide on the mat. And when I say,
but while still keeping your core engaged.
So core should stay engaged the entire time.
Okay.
But we're gonna have a more intense contraction
on the way up.
On the way up. In this case,
is
on the way. So think of, like, this is kind of what Sean says, like when you find your core connection, like you don't find that core connection and you're at 100% and you keep 100% the entire time.
Yeah.
I think he says about 60%, so find 60%, so before you even do anything, find 60% of your core connection. Okay. So think of holding in P, pulling it up the elevator, and then just trying to melt your ribs a little bit. Good, really good. So you're gonna find that. When I say heavy sit bones and plug those femur bones, when I tactile and press, this femur should be plugging down. Okay. So you still want to have that nice wide bum, but still that 60 back. Connection. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Your femur is like so, and then it has a little, like that little plug that sits in that socket. It's a socket like this, like your shoulder. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So when I say plug that femur, like really get it sunk into that. Okay. 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 So when you are ready, keep that 60% connection. Keep that wide sit bones. As you draw your knees away, really emphasize those wide sit bones. Really make sure, because that'll help with the plug. Okay. Okay. And then when you come back, it's core, yes. Is that making more sense?
It does. I think it's always just trying to put it together, like for a feel, because I can see it anatomically. I can see it, but I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm engaging. And then I know sometimes when I'm using my core, I'm like, but it feels like I'm pulling away, like. So it's, I mean, it's easy when you guys are here to be like, no, Devita, like, just.
I know.
And then when they'll be at home, and I'm like, well, wait a second.
So do you know what neutral spine is?
I think so. Yes.
So you're going to have that little space in your back. Yeah. Okay. You're gonna. So you're lying on your back. That's why we start people on their back, because then you can feel this surface against you. You can feel, and you can stay better in neutral. Like when you're say you were doing the footwork here. And your body is on the mat, and you can stay neutral. Yeah. As soon as you get up standing, you still want to feel like you would be on the mat. That's neutral, but it's so much harder and other things are going on. So this keeps you so you can feel your head, your shoulders, your tailbone. Right. You're going to have a space behind your neck, space behind your back. Right. Now the reason we put that new spine under your back, so say you went to push the carriage out and you want to use your core, but it was too weak, so you load into your back's going to drop out of neutral onto the mat. And so now you think, oh yeah, my core is firing, but it's actually you're throwing your back out. Right. So we put that new spine there, so you have to stay in neutral.
Right.
It has to stay in your core. You can't drop your back and hurt it.
Okay.
So the first thing, this is like beginner.
No, it's good. It's
like,
good. Yeah,
okay,
it's good. No, I think my head needs to understand it for sure. Yeah.
So you want to maintain that neutral spine.
Yeah.
Another tip: palm of hands on your hips, fingers splayed down to your pubic bone. If you're in neutral, that should be flat. You should be able to have a flat tray. So when I say, this isn't what you're supposed to be doing, but bring your low back a little bit towards the mat. So if this is out of neutral, and you can tell, and so it would say, okay, so now come into neutral. That is what I mean by heavy sit bones. You press your bum more and your back peeled off a little bit.
Okay.
So when heavy sit bones, you're almost pushing that pubic bone away from you.
Right. Which is sort of counter to tucking your tail though.
Yes.
Which is also your core. So that's where I'm like, right? Like if it's
you don't want to over.
Right.
So that's where the tray comes in.
Right.
So you could find your hip bones, you could find your pubic bone. You don't want to be over and you don't want to be under. You want a nice flat plane.
Okay.
From here, you're in neutral. Okay. Now, hold that flow of pee.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the frontal. That's just your core. Zip it up.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when I say that little tiny tail of length, you don't want to drop your back when you do it.
Okay.
Remember that one where it melts your ribs?
Yeah.
That's why this is really hard, because you need mobility in your whole spine.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
That's why it's
confusing. So tucking my tail should be dropping. It should be.
Yeah. It should honestly just be a little length towards that wall, and it's just this little space. It's not your low back.
Okay.
That stays neutral.
Okay. Okay.
Too much, right?
Yeah. No, this is good. Like that's what I need to understand, because I'm kind of trying to put things together, and then at home I'll be like, but if I do that, then so that's good. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you just start with, are you in neutral? Do you have a tray on your pelvis?
Yes.
Yes. Then you're in neutral.
Okay.
Then think of holding your pee, zipping it up. That's your core.
Okay.
Let's not even think about the ribs right now, because that's just too much. Let's just think of neutral.
Okay.
Hold your pee, zip it up, an elevator.
Okay.
60%.
Okay.
That's where you want to maintain.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you've already heavied your sit bones by getting into neutral.
Okay.
So if I say heavy your sit bones when you're doing exercise, it's probably because you're not quite in neutral.
Okay.
So that's all that is.
Okay. Okay.
You feel okay?
Yeah.
So all I'm looking for is neutral and core engagement.
Okay.
If you're out of neutral, that's why I'm giving you weird cues.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So let's bring feet together. Let's just do a couple floats thinking about this.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
You're going to float them away. And then you're going to connect your core to come back. Should always be connected 60%, but just it's going to be a little bit emphasized as you come in.
Okay.
Okay? Good. And your sit bones are nice and heavy. You're totally in neutral.
Perfect. Thank you. And that feels good.
Good. And we also tend to grip on our glutes.
Yes, I do.
So
yes.
that could also be heavy sit bones. There's also like kind of multiple things are going on, but I might even mean release
those bums.
that bum.
Yeah.
Like grip, 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 but let's just release it. Good. Let's do alternate when you get back to the center. So now this is where you would really think of keeping this bum down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then this bum down. Good. Because that tactile helps you. You really stay in nice neutral.
Yeah, it helps you for now, for sure, just to kind of consider all of the.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I go home, and of course I'm doing other activities, and I'm like, where is this coming from? Right?
And I still feel like that's a lot of
And then where's my foot supposed to be? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. That's why Pilates is so challenging.
It is.
At the beginning,
so
especially, until
my body does
some of these things become regular, and then we can work on those tiny things like the ribs. But I don't even want to go there. I want to focus on neutral.
Okay.
And just getting core connection.
Okay. I like it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. It gets confusing.
And I don't, like, since I've begun, like, there's for sure, my core is engaged, like, way more than, like, I have a core. And I didn't. So I know that there's, like, that is, like, is there. Like, I've got a little bit of a base to work off. But
yeah.
It's just some of those other pieces I'm never sure where my body's supposed to be.
Yeah. It takes a lot. But then soon some things become natural and habit, and then it's so much easier. And then you can focus on little things.
Yes. So yeah, I'm trying, because I sit unfortunately a lot. And so I'm always trying to like remember, like, where's my pelvis? Am I stacked? So is it coming from my back where?
Yeah, and think of this position, like being down on the mat, it's so easy to feel, it's easier to find neutral. Yeah. So think if you were sitting in a chair, like is your neck actually going to be in line? Is your head, is probably a little bit more forward, whereas you want it back in neutral.
Yeah.
Really hard to sit like that. Yeah. But that's what you can imagine. Yeah. This is neutral. If you could maintain that.
Yes.
Like if you were sitting, you would still want to have a nice, your head like this. Yeah. Same with standing. Same if you were doing squats. Like people are like doing squats like this, but if you were on here doing squats, like how would you do them?
Yeah. And I've been doing that too, and like lifting between my thighs into my core, like versus. I was like, oh, it's different.
Okay, good. We'll just do this last one, and then let's take those balls out, and then see how that feels.
Yeah.
Probably feels easier to like heavy those.
It does.
So let's still put this behind your back.
Okay.
So again, that's just helping you, like making sure you're not loading into your back.
Okay.
You can't cheat with that thing, and sometimes we don't even know. Like we're not trying to cheat. Like it's just other muscles trying to grab. So let's do heels on the bar first. Let's do shoulder width apart so you can separate them a little bit. So we're doing parallel. Feet slight engagement to the ceiling. Good. So from here, think of that heavy bump, right? Okay. Think of that neutral. You could put your hands back on there if you wanted to maintain that. Okay. Think of your connections at 60. When you go to exhale and press out, find a little extra with your hand. Good. And as you come in, just think of keeping that bum wide on the mat. That's almost like releasing your glutes. Does this feel different to you than what do you feel like connections are being different right now, that you're thinking about different things?
No, I think like it's good. It's just, I was just needing that reminder, so when I fall out of it, I know mentally what
you're doing wrong, right? Because you go to do it at home and it's like,
I can't remember.
How can I not connect?
I wish you were here with me right now.
Yeah.
And this is really good, but my hamstrings right now.
Good. I like that.
And my feet.
Yeah. And I think the main thing out of everything is staying safe, and so you're not, like if you stretch at home and hurt yourself or whatever, that neutral, that tray, that'll help you a lot.
Yes.
Like that's a good cue to know if you're actually having a nice curvature back there in your back in your spine.
Yeah, I think it gets tricky when you kind of get out of plane though, like, when you're like lateral or
when you're not lying down.
Yeah, or you've got like you're doing a Piriformis Stretch or something, like where's my pelvis supposed to stay?
Oh yes. Even if you're just doing something rotational or kneeling, or like as soon as you have less surface area touching the ground or the mat.
Yeah, it's hard for me to know. And then I was doing like a Piriformis sort of stretch, like the knee over the other leg.
Okay.
With Sabrina the night, she's like, keep that pelvis, so like when you turn, try to keep that flat, like sort of like you and I were talking. I was like, oh, I can't, but I was doing it and I was getting a stretch, and she's like, yeah, that's where you're supposed to feel it. Historically, that stretch causes me to go into nerve stuff.
Okay.
So I've always avoided it because I thought that was a bad feeling. I was like, oh, this is actually the feeling I'm supposed to be achieving, like this stretch.
Right.
It doesn't go nervy anywhere because I have better core, but
right.
I was like, oh, okay.
But you taught your body.
I thought this was where I'm trying to avoid.
Right.
So it's like, oh, okay, I actually meant to be in here.
Right. And so now your body is learning different behavior, like different patterns.
Totally. And then I'm at home trying to do it. I'm like, is this right again? Can you guys come over?
Yeah, no problem. Okay, this time when you come in, let's come down to our arches on the bar. And then we're just going to think of wrapping those feet around. Okay. And let's think of almost like activation of your heels
Okay.
to activate your glute to fire.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just add one more thing to your plate. Do you find your normal stances feet are a bit externally rotated, just in general?
I think so, yeah. And you said that last week, and so I've been paying attention. Yes, because if I was to go neutral, especially if like I was just stretching up, it's like such a tight along the lateral edge of my entire leg.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah.
Okay. Are you thinking are your feet in parallel right now?
I don't know, are they?
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
Can you get your heels out a little bit more now? Do it and see how you feel. Is that really tight?
It's so tight, but I like that's what I'm trying to be aware of now. I'm like, I bet that's a part of a lot of my problem is these feet of mine.
I got a little tip from one of the other instructors. She said, whenever you're brushing your teeth, like it's only 2 minutes out of your time, get your feet together. Like stand with your feet together when you're, say, brushing your teeth.
Like is your toes like?
Yes, so your toes will be like this.
Right.
Yeah, because yours tend to want to stay out.
Yes.
And most people's tend to stay out, or at least are really, everyone's are uncomfortable with internally rotating. I just think that would.
No, I need to
be in that plane a little bit.
I've been thinking about that since I've seen you, and I'm like trying to imagine what that's supposed to be. Again, I'm like, where are you? To come home with me?
Yeah.
I'm like trying to, like this morning I was stretching, like just like my leg just straight up and dorsiflexing to get the stretch to my hamstring, and then turn my foot out, and I was like, oh,
way too much.
Come into it's just good, but I'm like I'm clearly so tight.
Okay.
And like the weight bearing portion of my foot is like barely, like if I painted my feet and stepped, like it's nothing, like because there's so much arch, so I don't come into the inside of my foot at all.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that's a big part of this problem.
So let's work on that internal rotation.
Okay.
This time when you come in, so bend to come in, and then we'll come down to the balls of our feet on the bar.
Okay.
So yeah, that way. And then we're gonna go out and we're just gonna do the running actually.
Okay.
So so you'll find your connections to press out. That looks good. Once you get out here, you're gonna dip one heel down and one extend. Good. And I want you to focus on the lift as well as the dip. Good. You can still keep your core connection on. And we're just gonna be here, be mobile. And then we're gonna work in those different planes of motion too. Feel pretty tight?
Yeah, it feels good though.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Especially that right side.
Yeah. And it's all the outside from here up, right?
Totally.
Does it kind of come under your knee
a
little bit?
Yeah, and then sometimes right into the bottom of my foot.
Right. And is it kind of in your heel when it comes down to your foot, or?
No, it's more into like the arch, like lateral. Like I think it's very much like my peroneal. Like,
here?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's after seeing you last week where I was like giving that more thought. Like I was like, oh, like a lot of I think this hip stuff is just like this because it is. It's like perpetually tight. Legs, hamstrings, calves, feet.
Probably IT band too.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
So let's bend to come in. We probably don't even need to work in the one plane. So let's do the other one. So your feet are going to stay on the balls of feet, but you're going to bring your toes together, heels, like an internal rotation, like so. And we're still going to do the running.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
so so find your connections to press out, and you're going to dip one heel down and lift, and it's going to feel really funny and probably really tight, and just focus on the internal rotation of your feet. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's definitely a stretch, but it's good.
And they're not even that
And
rotated, you know.
I know. That's so tight there.
Yeah, the left one's better than the right, but.
And I'm feeling the stretch more on the left at the moment, but on that lateral edge.
Yeah, down here.
Yeah.
You used to run a lot or anything?
No.
No? My hair is tickling your feet.
Oh, it's all good. No, I tried running at one point, and I was like, I couldn't even walk. I had to get my feet all taped in.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it was so painful.
And you didn't even run that much?
No, like I thought, oh, I
Went
need
a
to.
few times and...
Totally, and then within a week I was like, uh-oh.
Oh no. Was it your foot pain?
Foot, yeah, so I had to get my feet all taped in. So I think it's very much like tight feet.
Yeah. Do you know what?
She did?
No, like, do you know what, like, your tightness has come from? Like, if things are stemming from...
I don't, like, I
Did
think
it
that's
overdo
the...
sport or anything?
No, and that's the mystery, like, that's the piece I don't know.
Right. Okay, when you're ready, let's bend to come in. We're gonna do wide stance.
Okay.
Also, if you're okay, internal rotation. So, you'll bring your feet nice and wide on the bar, as wide as you can, but feeling comfortable.
Okay.
And then toes towards each other.
Okay.
Okay. You're gonna think of pressing those heels in to activate those glutes.
Okay.
Okay. Want your knees to stay together as best you can.
Okay.
They will come apart when you're extended.
Okay.
Okay. So find your connections to press out. And then as you come in, draw your knees back together when you can. Communicate with me if you're feeling terrible.
No, it's good, yeah.
Okay. This foot is not even.
Yeah.
Good. You okay?
Yeah. I was just curious, like, how much?
It just looks tight. This one's good. Just keep focusing on that internal rotation, toes towards each other. Good. Bring your knees together as soon as you can. Good. Super uncomfortable or just kind of weird, different feeling?
No, it's just tight. Yeah, it's not uncomfortable. It's just really, yeah, like I can manage it, but it's tight, yeah. Can you relax the top of your feet a bit? Good. Do you walk on the outsides of your feet, kind of? Like if you feel like you're standing, whatever, at home, whatever, you're just standing, and do you notice like your feet are kind of... I don't feel like I am, and
No.
my shoes don't wear like that, but I am. Like I have such a high arch that really, I'm just on those lateral edges of my feet.
Right. Do you wear orthotics?
No.
Have you ever?
No. But again, these are things I've been thinking about. Like, is it my feet?
Right. Okay, last one. And then you can just come back in. Let's come back to parallel. Let's just give your legs a little bit of a break. We'll do a little bit of mid-back, and then we'll do some feet and straps and get loosened up.
That's good, okay.
So that's gonna be light. Don't fling yourself.
Okay, so staying on my back?
Stay on your back.
Okay.
Keep that in there. These are for your hands.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the Pilates circle. That'll help plug those femurs. Okay? So I like it up. Yay. So, and you're going to think of applying a little pressure so that it stays where it is, and that'll help plug those down.
Perfect.
So we won't be here long. I just want really good core connections.
Okay.
When you're ready, you can find that connection to come up into tabletop. Good. So fingers towards the ceiling. Think engagement of airing out your armpits just a little bit. Just open your collarbone. Then when you're ready, you're going to press down towards the mat from your engagement here. It's coming from there. Good. And back up towards the ceiling. Relax your traps in here. It's all coming from this. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Good, one more. Good, we're gonna do triceps from here. So you're gonna bend at the elbow and press down towards the mat, palms towards the mat. Yeah. No hinging at the wrist, perfect, nice. Engagement from here. Awesome. You feeling okay?
Yeah, totally.
Two more with good connections. Feel creepy in your hips at all?
No, I think I'm just listening, like, sort of on the back of my pelvis more, like, I'm just trying to get out of it by making sure I have my core.
Yeah.
One more.
Are you feeling like on your tailbone?
Like, sort of in my SI, like at the.
You feeling some pain?
Well, it's just tight. Like, I don't know.
It's just
I'm just feeling where I'm engaging it sometimes, and I'm just not sure if I'm meant to be feeling it there, so, yeah.
Can you think almost of like releasing your bum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that help a little bit?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, as you press towards the mat, we won't be here long, we're just gonna come up into a T. So you're gonna duct away, and then you're gonna come back, press towards your hips from here. Yes, good. Just focus on keeping that bum wide. Good. Doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, two more. Nice, good job. You can find the foot bar. Good, I can take this from you. Thank you. You're welcome.
This off?
Yeah. Now, how do you feel? Are you ready for some feet straps?
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Yeah. I always leave you feeling like, oh, just like things like haven't been open. I'm like,
The
oh,
feet
thank
straps
God.
is so good.
Yes. Oh.
Now, I'm wondering, maybe we should stay away from that stretch we did last time though.
Okay.
Because we don't want to do anything until it's back
Okay.
to 100%.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Okay.
So we'll bring one foot up. Good. And then the other. Good. And you can just extend kind of a 45-degree angle just so you can find your connections properly. And you'll relax here. Good. Bring your feet towards the ceiling a little bit. And can you really think of spread your bum out, spread your bum apart. Okay? As you find your connections, we're gonna press down towards the floor with your connections, keeping your legs straight. Just to there. I wouldn't even go that far.
Okay.
Just to there. That's where you're gonna end. And then you're gonna come up towards the ceiling. Think, keep my bum on the mat.
Okay.
Okay? That's gonna give you a big stretch too. Good. Connect as you go down. Good. Release your bum as you come up. Good. Feeling okay?
Yeah.
As you come up towards the mat, try to get as much length, a nice stretch, keeping that bum down. Pretty tight today, hey?
Yeah.
Back
And
there.
especially that right leg. Yeah.
Good, let's just do one more and then we'll meet back at the seat. Good, from here you're going to draw your legs away from each other. Think widening your bum. And then as you bring back together, think from zipping up that core. Good. Think widening your bum. And then core to zip together. Good. When you're out there, it's probably a nice stretch. You can take a moment and then just do one more, okay? Good, from here, let's keep feet together, we're gonna do circles. So we're gonna press down with strong connection, and then separate and meeting them at the top. Good, and think wide bum as you come up. Good, think of connect to press. Good, from here, we're gonna go the other direction. Good, so we have to connect here, yeah. And then think wide bum down there.
That's good.
Yeah. Good. Just do 2 more. Good. Let's just come into a bend, into our tabletop. Bring heels together, toes apart. And then can you get toes apart a little bit? Yeah. You're gonna think of pressing towards the wall, and then come back into a nice deep bend. Okay? You're gonna have to find your connections to press out. Good, and just, you can come up a bit higher, more like a 45-degree to the floor, okay? And then think wide bum on the mat as you come in. Press, good. Think wide bum on the mat, nice. Connect. Oh, no.
That feels good though.
Yeah, it really is. Maybe getting that plugged.
Oh.
Yeah, just let that settle in there. Do 2 more. Wide bum, nice. Last one. Awesome. You can come into a bend. We're gonna come out of these straps. Foot bar. Good. How you feeling?
Oh yeah, good. Just felt so like, oh
Yeah.
Get it in there.
Yeah, and let's do. What can you just extend the carriage out for me? Actually, I'm gonna give you a little bit more space. We're just gonna do the Piriformis Stretch. So you can come into that stopper. Stop you a bit early. Bring the outside ankle. Yeah. Good. And still think wide bum on the mat. Nice wide Beyonce bum on the mat. And think of that knee going towards that wall.
This knee.
Yeah.
This mask, I have no peripheral vision. I can hear you.
And can you keep this bum and hip down? Pretty tight?
Yeah, like where's that rotation happening? Like where am I moving?
So you should be feeling it here.
Right.
Are you feeling that there?
Well, I'm just not sure, like, you're saying keep this here.
So keep these down.
Yeah.
This should be able to peel, but still keep this.
So peel it. Which way am I moving this?
This should go out here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How you feel?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
It's more kind of causing compression through here as this pushes down though, just because the red carriages, I think.
Maybe it needs to be out a little bit further.
Slightly, maybe.
Okay, let's, the carriage can't go out any further, but lift your foot for me. Come down to there. Does that help you or make it, makes it easier to stay neutral, for sure. Can you still feel the stretch though?
Where should I be feeling the stretch?
In the back of your bum.
Just by pushing it this way?
Yeah. Yeah, I can already feel it, so it's like...
So yeah, show me how you do the stretch. So I'm, I just want to,
Yeah, I bring that, and this is staying stable.
Okay.
So that's as far as I can go, honestly. So I'm thinking of peeling this away, but nothing moves here. Nothing moves on my hips.
Just maybe...
Or my bum. It's just the knee. You're hiked a little bit. So, there. Stay here and try to press your knee away. Maybe that's not what's tight.
To some degree. I guarantee it'll be more tight on this side, but...
Let's try the other side and just see if we can... Because then if you can at least feel the sensation you need to feel. Can you feel it?
Again, I feel like where I'm getting more into is probably my lateral, like that hamstring than it is, but I don't know. I can feel like it's in there, but it's not. Yeah.
We can do, so if you put one foot, this is just for one foot.
Okay.
Okay.
Which one, does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
We'll just do right for now.
Okay.
And so now you're gonna press that in and then opposite leg. So now, yeah. Good. And then you can bend that leg.
Okay.
So you might be able to get that deeper.
Okay.
Does that feel any different to you? Like you could bend it in, bend this leg in more, yeah.
Okay. If I bend that leg in, then I could, like,
Yeah.
I could get a glute
Just a deeper.
By bringing this, yeah.
Yeah, you'll feel it as glute, like your piriformis is in that bum.
Yes, that, I couldn't feel it before you did this though.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay. So just need a deeper.
Keep my...
When you're ready, you can find the other one and we'll do the other side. I'm surprised you're not feeling as much.
Yeah.
But you know, we're dealing maybe with more lateral and hamstring than
This is where, because of
the-
last week, I think that I'm starting to feel like that's it. Because I can get right into my glutes like to do a stretch, and it hurts, but
and you can bend this as much as you want to
Okay.
get into that.
Okay.
So if you need to bring this knee in more to you, then
Don't hike that hip, okay.
yeah. Can you feel it?
No, it's
Really?
more on my hip, like it's more through here than it is my glutes.
So I'm interested in, did we do that one? We did the one where your knees were bent and you just lean into it. So let's get you out of this.
Okay.
I'm kind of scared to give, I want to give you that other one we did. It felt good.
It, like to bring it over?
Yeah.
Like I'm happy to do it, because it's so, like,
Okay,
I just
let's
feel like
do it.
nobody wants to go there.
So there you go. So I can't remember where we had the other leg.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
putting that down there. If you need, there's a mat there for you. Good. So find your nice level. I don't want no hiking or anything.
Yep.
It's nice neutral. You'll still find your connections. When you're ready, you're still going to keep the bum heavy, but you're going to start bringing this across your body.
And that's like the extent.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Oh, it feels good. But that's it. That's it.
Okay. That's all you got. And we don't want to overdo it. And I like having. Just be careful if you do this at home with a TheraBand or something, because you can jam your back if you're holding this and like holding it really tight.
Totally, yes, you gave me the TheraBand, and I think just cause it's like, it has too much play in it, that it was too hard, so I
And
was
you'll
like.
throw your, like if you're not using a new spine under there and you're
Yeah,
gripping
that's what I
really
was
hard.
feeling like I had to do to give that tension, yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so let's try to go, are we out? Can we move over a little bit?
Like,
You feeling okay?
Yeah, no, it's good,
Okay.
it's like so good,
I was,
so
my
good.
question was I couldn't tell if it was in neutral or over. Cause you only have such little movement, cause you're so tight.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm stretching right now.
That was
This is a stretch, yeah, like a good, yeah.
Okay, let's come back to center for a little rest.
Okay.
And then we'll come back over. Ready?
Yeah.
Breathe into it. Good. Go a little bit further, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good, it gets to the point, like, I can, like, actually feel my sit bone, like,
Yeah.
the pull at my sit bone.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good though.
And you're not loading into your back, right? No, you're good. Good, let's come back to center. Let's do it again. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have a breath with it. Just keep breathing. Good, you can come back to center when you're ready. Let's bend. We'll come out of that, but when you're feeling comfortable, okay?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, let's do the other side. Probably won't be as tight, but it will still be tight, I'm sure. Good, so just make sure everything's nice and in line. Bum is still heavy on the mat. Okay, good. When you're ready, we're just gonna pull over. Can you bring this foot more parallel? Yeah. You feel okay?
Just trying to make sure I'm not twisting. We have me up more maybe.
You were more towards the ceiling on the other
Yeah, there
side.
we go.
Okay. Let's come back to center and we'll so yeah, just find your connections. You were as much towards the ceiling as you could, and then you're gonna slightly bend over to that other wall. Yeah. Think heavy bum. So you're not grabbing. You're so tight there. This will be good for you.
Oh, it feels so good.
And come back to center. We're gonna breathe into it. Back to center, you okay to do one more?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Good, you can come back to center. And we can just come out of that front strap. Good, and you can just come up to the box. You can come on